Welcome back to I'm Tired. That was a great intro. I think that's going to be my intro. My intro is just going to be welcome back to I'm Tired. I had intended to do videos on different things today. I had intended on doing a review, but my internet is dead, so that is a no-no right now because I can't print anything out. And quickly check it to make sure that I know what I'm reading. I was thinking of doing a drawing video, but my hand is killing me because apparently I'm like a really old person now. I have all these calluses. Like, I don't know if you can see that. I have all these calluses because I'm writing so much now because I haven't studied in like 5 to 6 years. And I'm writing and my whole arm is just dead. And I can't write with both arms, or both hands. I can only write with my right hand and it is fully dead. I have had to order a brace for my hand and like these finger protectors. They're called finger sleeves. You just put them on so like these calluses that you get from just writing a few hours a day won't get exacerbated and bleed and shit. And like my forefinger, the one that I use to actually hold a pen, has become very like desensitized to touching anything. I don't know if that's worrisome. I feel like it's just part of being an old person, which I'm not. I'm 24 in 2 months. I'm so old I forgot how old I was. That's great. But I thought it would be nice for me to talk about something I am writing, and I don't know if this is going to turn into a run. I don't know what this is going to be. This is sort of like a whatever video, because I promised my audience of probably like 4 people who just sort of click on the video more than a few times. Because let's be real, Luke watches all my videos and that's pretty much it. That's as much of a like fan base that I have. Everybody else sort of just checks in. Luke is the one who watches my videos, so thank you, Luke. Shout out to Luke, he's great. You should check him out. I'll probably leave his details in the description of this video because he's just been so great about everything. But this is going to be a whatever video. If it turns into a run, I'll title it as a run. If it turns into something else, I don't know, I'll figure it out later. My hair is doing crazy things and I'm going to keep touching it because priorities, I guess. Okay, so I am currently writing a story called A Christmas Cynic, or The Christmas Cynic, one of the two. I cannot fact check, my internet is broken. I'm literally gonna upload this video using my data and I hope it doesn't go over my limit for this month. But I'm writing a story about a Christmas Cynic and I just want to explain why I'm doing that. Because I feel like we all have like this person in our lives who, whenever a holiday comes around, they're always naysaying. They're always saying about what the holiday is actually about and how we're straying from the real holiday by celebrating it in the way that we are celebrating it. And the reason I'm writing this story is because at one point in my life, I feel like when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I was this person. I used to fact check every holiday, especially Valentine's Day, because I was so alone. I was always so alone when I was younger. That I always thought like Valentine's Day was bullshit. Also, I was super religious when I was younger, so I would, work that in somehow. And since like leaving religion, since like sort of calming down from all of that, I see like a huge value in just appreciating everything that you do in life. Whether that's celebrating, whether that's working, whether that's studying, whether it's just doing nothing for a whole day. I have grown to understand that there are some things in your life that you have to make room for. And you just have to play with, just live, without questioning it. And I think that there are people out there who overanalyze everything, who overanalyze everything and suck the fun out of everything, essentially. And I don't know if I'm going to link the story below. It's not going to be a story that's too long. I may link it below. I have not finished it yet. That's the main reason why I don't want to link it below, actually. This video was going to be the end, like, it was going to be a part of the end of that video. After I'd finished it, it was going to be the epilogue, the reason for this story. And one of the defining factors of that story is that a character is taken to... Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear about the story, I will not tell you anything more about the story. Everything I am currently saying is already in the story, so if you want to go and read it and come back, or just read it and not come back because this is ridiculous, that's fine. But the whole point of the story is that the character is made to appreciate things like Christmas despite not having religion. Or any sort of beliefs, or being super, super pessimistic, just because it's a celebration. It's an excuse to see all the people you love, to get back in contact with people you maybe haven't been the best at keeping up with. You know, it's just a holiday to remember people, for me at least. I understand that it has a true meaning, and it's the birth of Christ and whatever. For me, as being like a non-religious person, and being a person who doesn't really see too much of a benefit in religion. Like, the only benefit I can see is on a very personal level of being comfortable and being content in the knowledge that you have a religion. Other than that, I see very little benefit in religion. I don't know if that sounds really bad, and I don't know if that's going to be like an unpopular opinion, but that is my opinion. I don't advocate religion, not, at least not as much as I used to, and definitely not as much as I'm coming off as. Like, I don't believe in anything. I believe in working hard and living your life the best as you can. Because everything is infinite, and when you're gone, you're gone. That's it. There is nothing else for you. You are meant to use this time that you have now as far as you can, and do as many things as you can in your life, and experience as many things as in your life as you can. And that is why I actually want to make a series of I tried this and this is what I think about it. Because sometimes I've just tried things just for the sake of trying them. One of those things is modelling. I did try modelling. I still go into that every now and then if I'm, you know, I need to make a few bucks, or I find a project that looks interesting. I don't know if you guys want to see that, but I do these things where I will go into something not really knowing what it is. Currently, my whole thing of, I'm exploring this whole idea of singing. Like, what is singing? What is singing really? I understand that it's a voice, and there's some music, and, you know, there's loads of genres. I get that. I understand that. But, like, I feel like arts, especially, are taken very lightly by people who are in, like, proper jobs. And you know, people just think it's effortless, and it's like, it's just a talent that you have, and it's not something you can build, when in actual fact it is a skill that you have to keep going over. Like, you can't just wake up one day and sing. It's something that you have to train for. And it's little things like that. Like, I still don't know how to colour. Like, colour to an extent where it's impressive. I know how to colour in shapes like a child would, but I don't know how to colour to an artistic standard where it's possible. I know how to sketch. That's as much as I know. And I know that that's not something you learn in one day, because for the last 24 years, almost, I had no set drawing style. I would go back and forth between drawing styles, and while my skill of sketching has improved, I finally feel like I have a style, like I have a specific style that I want to stick to. And I don't know what it's called. I did not go to any art schools. I did not learn to sketch. It was just going over and over and over it. And for someone to say, oh, sketching is just something you're born with. It really isn't. It's something that you find interesting, that you build on. So that's a whole, like, I went off on a tangent here, but that's a whole other series that I wanted to do. But the reason I do these things where I like jump into different things and figure out what they are for myself is because I feel like you need to do that in your life. You need, sometimes when you're interested and it's in your brain, you just have to do it and see what it's like. I would like to experiment with singing. I'm terrible at singing. Listen to my voice. I cannot go to a high note from here. There is no high note. There is here and there's here, and that is it. But I feel like it's important to experience things. And holidays are like the few times in a year where you're actually... I understand that they're consumer events. Don't feel like I don't understand that. I fully understand that. They are consumer events, but they're also reminders to actually look at other people. Like, remember your family, remember your loved one, remember your mom, remember your dad. You know, today's the day you drink yourself blind. Today is the day you dress up funny and you put some pumpkins outside to scare children. You know, you watch some horror movies. It's just times to have fun and remember things and remember people. And I feel like there's, with very specific people, with me specifically as a young person, as someone who was like 13, I've always been a pessimist. I've always looked at things in a very sarcastic, very cynical, very negative light, and I've always been a naysayer. I've always been someone who will, be the know-it-all and pretend like I know everything and, basically do some Wikipedia research and shove it in someone's face. I've always been that person. And I've toned that down a lot over the last 5 years because I have had an eye-opening experience over the last 5 years, and that is something else. That is something for a later time to go over, but I have learned that these things are very special, but I understand why people like dissect it, because they don't understand why it's a celebration. For example, like, everybody knows that Christmas is to celebrate the birth of Christ, but it's been scientifically proven. It has been factually, historically, scientifically proven that there is no way in hell that Jesus H. Christ was born in December. It is very well known that it is an appointed date that was given to Christians by the Romans, or I don't know the specifics of it anymore. I've cast that garbage out of my mind, really, because I don't want to preach to people about not celebrating Christmas. I think it's a bad idea. I think you're being a party pooper. People just want to have fun. And I know there are people out there who will just say, well, why don't you just have fun? Because sometimes people need an excuse to have fun. Okay? It's Christmas, have fun. I want to buy you a present. Why are you buying me a present? Only buy me presents when it's present time. Like, it is present time. It's Christmas. We have an appointed date. I don't celebrate the birth of Christ. I don't know if he was real. I use this date to just give my friends presents that they will either laugh at or love. I've split it 50-50 this year. I've sent a bunch of friends some really troll presents, and I've sent a bunch of friends some really lovely presents. But that is my point. That is why I enjoy Christmas, and I think it's a bad idea to naysay Christmas. And, there's no magic, there's no Santa, there's no elves, but that does not mean that it cannot be as fun as that. Don't take fun out of your life because you don't find a reason for it. It's really stupid to do that, in my opinion. Fun is one of the best things we do as humans, is we find a creative, non-violent, like non-inhumane way of just having fun. Whether that's just looking up at the sky and seeing pictures that aren't there, or, talking to a friend and laughing about something stupid like a meme, or, picking a day to give each other presents and put up a tree in our house and all these other ridiculous things. Like, if an alien flew to our planet, I'm sure they would have 100 questions why we, put some metal on our walls and why everything is so shiny and why we put lights up. And I'm sure there's a historical reason for everything. And a scientific reason and a religious reason and whatever. But at the crux of it, I do it because it's fun. And I think that that is the most compelling reason to celebrate Christmas. And I think that that is, you know, one of the most non-biased, I feel like, genuine reasons to celebrate Christmas. Because you can sit there and you can say that I celebrate Christmas because it's the birth of Christ. Okay, but, you know, there is some person out there, there is the old me out there who will say, well, you're not doing this by the book, you know, the book. You are not doing it like that. And I hate that. I really hate that people do that, and I want it to stop, and that's why I wrote an entire story about it, exaggerating a situation where that person is put in a very unpleasant circumstance because they're a buzzkill and they need to stop it, and they just need to have some turkey, sit down, or, you know, tofurkey, whichever, sit down and just share some presents and just not fight over the holidays. It is a time for just laughter, eating, and fun. And this was my video today. I apologize. I have no internet in my house. Please give me a break. Next week I will review The Figures by Eve Lilly. Eve Lilly, I am so sorry that it has taken this long to review your story, and I promise you I will do it. I am just in dire straits right now. And yeah, I hope you have a good holiday coming up. I know that schools in the UK are going to be letting out at the end of next week, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, even though I'll be seeing you next week. I will be recording for sure next week, and the week after that I really want to do a year in review. I really want to go over, because like I said, I'm a very sentimental person. I have an entire 2 scrapbooks of 2017 and 2018, so I would really love to do that. I feel like that's going to be a really long video also, but if you guys would like to see that, please let me know. Even if it's just one of you who wants to see that, I will do it, because I really want to go through my year. And, you know, that's all I really have to say. Thank you for listening to me. I apologize for this messy, sort of off-key, really, you know, off-script, off-book, off-everything video. I will return to you next week with a more ordered one. But thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good weekend coming up, and I hope you have a good Christmas coming up. Thank you, and goodbye.